I'm so happy to be here with you guys. A big shout out to Vicky. She put this together for you. She asked me if I would be willing to come share with you guys, and I'm so thrilled and blessed to be here with you. Yay for Idaho. I love Idaho. I used to go fly fishing there all the time as a kid, so I'm excited to be here with you, even if it's just virtually. And we have some interesting discussions to discuss with you. So I hope that you guys have your notes and you're ready to get rocking today. I hope you've had tons of learning today so far, and this will just add to what you're learning and being excited about, because that's the whole point, is that we get passionate about this company and about the products because they're just so freaking fun to get passionate and excited about. All right, so who am I? I'm Jen O'Sullivan, and many of you guys know me from the Human Body and Essential Oils. I absolutely adore teaching. It's something that I've pretty much grown up doing. Even when I was a child, I taught in the special needs classes when I was in 5th grade up through middle school and loved it. Started teaching high school when I was in college, and started teaching college when I was out of college. I mean, it's just never ending for me. So now I'm teaching in a larger platform with over 100,000 people, and I absolutely adore it. So it's just part of who I am. Teaching, I will never stop teaching, and I love to learn. So this is what's fun about this. What we're going to talk about today, though, so if you're not in my group, feel free to join. We also have a YouTube channel for those of you guys who are not on Facebook. The thing about it, though, is that my mother, what do you call it, my stepmom, would always say, you know, Jennifer, the moment you stop learning is the moment you start dying, you know? Now, I've heard that quote in different forms throughout my life, but I like that it's a little more intense from her. She's my Jewish stepmom, and I love her to death, and she's so funny because she's just like, she's kind of like me, a little hardcore. It's like, you know, the moment you stop learning is the moment you start to die. It's like, okay, that's intense, but it's true. And so I remember, so we're going to talk about frequency today, and I remember the first time someone talked to me about frequency 10 years ago, I was like, that's so fake, I can't even stand it. Like, just tell me how the oils work and just stop with the whole monkey business about frequency, because that's just ridiculous, okay? And I literally threw that baby out with the bathwater. I'm like, I'm not even touching that. Okay, when we really start to understand frequency, it's really just energy. And when you start to understand energy and like an electrical socket, like I'm not going to stick my finger in that electrical socket because I know what will happen, okay? Now, if I was a child, I might not know what would happen, and I might do it, and then I would know what would happen. I mean, I don't know if you've ever done it before. I have, because I'm a curious person, and it's bad, okay? So when electricity was first discovered, everybody who had electricity in their homes for the first time were considered like satanic witchcraft worshipers. Like, I'm not kidding you. That was the whole kind of hubbub of the time, was that if you had electricity, you know, all of the people were like, that's like scary Satan stuff, and we're going to keep our candles. Okay, so it's all just based on we don't understand it, and things that we don't understand we're often afraid of, and things that we don't understand that we're afraid of we tend to stay away from, or we just kind of skirt around the issue, right? Agree to disagree. Well, I'm going to tell you, in my years now of using essential oils, it's been over 10 years. This month it's been 10 years. I literally have found a better appreciation for frequency. Now, while it's still interestingly elusive, because again, I don't understand electricity. I don't, you know, I'm not an electrician. I understand like there's waves and, you know, sparks and things. But with frequency, when you start understanding like radio waves and that things just vibrate, right? There's a way that things move through space. How does light travel? How do things travel in this kind of like undulating fashion? And these waves, it's how things are rolling. It's this kind of undulation of vibration. And so what frequency is that anything that's not organic, if it has electrical to it, there's a frequency in there, but it's a different type of frequency. But like this plastic case or this book does not have frequency in it. But my skin, food, anything like plant life, anything that is living has it vibrates at a certain frequency. And that frequency says a lot about us. It actually, healthy frequency is different from sick frequency, okay? So how do you know this then, right? I mean, like, how would you even figure this out? And it's why so many people have a hard time with this, because there's no, like, there's numbers that are out there, but it's not like a common thing. It's not like there's common tuning forks. I mean, there are, but it's not common. It's not like everybody has a tuning fork in their house, you know, or everybody has a frequency reader. So I use a device called Idaho, and if you don't know what that is, you can ask a person in your group here to you know, they might have one and you can try it. And what it is kind of like the fitness trackers on your body here. So there's 3 elements to understanding frequency. One is frequency. Another one is biofeedback, and a third is bioimpedance. Okay, so these are kind of big words, but I want to help you understand how they kind of all work together. So when you're using a fitness tracker like a Fitbit or your iPhone watch, these things have electric frequency readers that are actually biofeedback. They're 2 lights. You'll see them. There's 2, and they're pulsating usually, and those are reading biorhythms. They're reading that's actually your body, your life feedback. It's giving that item feedback, so it can count your steps, it can check your heart rate, it can check your temperature, it can check all sorts of things, right? So that is biofeedback. It's literally just giving you information based on your body, right? Something like an Idaho device is bioimpedance, and what it's doing is it's like biofeedback, where it's sending these small electronic nodes, kind of these waves into your body, and it's looking for things that are out of whack. And what that means is, like, let's say your cells are dehydrated. Well, it would go in through your cells and it's reading for different things, and it's reading for like hundreds of different things. And it might say, oh, like there's a hydration issue here, and it will recommend certain products based on what you've got going on. So like if you've got a liver that's not really properly functioning, it will read that and offer up a specific product. And why is that different than biofeedback? Biofeedback would just say you got liver issues. Bioimpedance is actually matching with things that could help you. It's actually taking the frequency at which, say, your bones are resonating, like let's say you have a broken bone, and it would read that and it would say, oh, you would need Valor, because Valor has the same frequency. It resonates at the same frequency. It's basically vibrating at the same frequency that our bones are vibrating at. So it's a match to help bring it back into harmony, into this idea of homeostasis, okay? So this is regulatory, it's regulating. So biofeedback, and this is where it gets really curious, is when it's reading you and it comes back and says, you have this issue, okay? Maybe you have a sprained ankle and it says, you know, you need some tendon support. Well, biofeedback states that if your brain cognitively knows there's a sprain, because you might not know, there might be such a slight one that you just have like a little bit of tension every once in a while, but not enough to really pay attention to it. If your mind actually catches on to that and says, oh, I actually do have a sprained ankle, your brain, this is how brilliant God made our bodies, your brain automatically starts sending the troops in to help heal that. That's what homeostasis is. It's like our bodies are constantly in this state of trying to regulate itself. And the more you know about what's going on in your body, the better. So the curious thing about that is it's why the placebo effect is so bizarre. And they did these studies where they took people who needed knee replacement surgeries, and they literally, half of them had the surgery and half of them didn't. Half of them only got slits in their knee because it was all orthoscopic, and they got moved around like the doctor, because they have like a sheet between them and the doctor, but they're watching on a video screen literally what's happening. But it's just a video recording of another surgery. And the doctor's like, oh yeah, here it is. Okay, see, it's going in. We're all good. So the curious question is, how many of the patients had full recovery? Meaning they went through the surgery and they went through all of the steps to rehab, and their knee is now good. No more knee, they had their knee replacement surgery and their knee is now great. How many of them? And you think, well, maybe some of them. No, 100% of them. All the people who had the surgery and all the people who didn't have the surgery have perfect knees. Like, what? That goes against everything we think. It's because our brain is so powerful. If you honestly think you're a 100% healthy, your body's going to attack whatever's going on in your body, and that's what happens. And again, that's creepy. That's a really, really strong thing. But to understand that is the foundation of biofeedback. Okay, so just so you understand. And it's why you can get an ITOV reading and have it read something, and then you say, okay, I'm going to do another reading. And then you get a reading that's totally different. Well, it's because you already know what's going on and your body's already starting to work. It's that quick. So understand that these things, while they seem a little strange, it's no joke. And you can look those up. You can look up studies on that. You can look up the placebo effect and how crazy that is in real life. It's true. So I love that when we understand this biofeedback and that bioimpedance is actually helping us understand what products to pair with it. And then you start saying, okay, well then this frequency thing, how does that play into all this? Well, frequency is interesting because when you know the frequency of, say, an essential oil or a product, and you can actually say something specific, and say you don't have an ITOV reader, or let's say you do have an ITOV reader and you don't have what they're offering, look at the frequency of that and find another alternative. Literally, like, if you don't have Valor, look at black spruce or blue spruce and see. I mean, even though blue spruce has a really high frequency, that spruce is something that's actually going to help your bones. Okay, so these are things where I would look at how you can actually take frequency and what it does to your body. And I think oftentimes we misunderstand that you would take frequency like rose. Let's say your frequency is really low, okay, and you want to raise your frequency. Well, it doesn't necessarily mean choose the oil that has the highest frequency like rose. It's interesting when you use rose, because rose will like totally lift you up and give you all this interesting energy. But essentially you want to try to match what health looks like. So if you have unhealthy lungs, like look at what the frequency of a lung is and actually try to match that so that you're bringing that frequency of your lung back to where it should be. So it's all super interesting, and I know that this is probably not as scientific as you'd like, but I hope that actually helped you break down the pieces a little bit more. And do know that the frequency is like a life learning thing. It's something that there's some interesting kind of loopholes that kind of don't make sense, but part of the beauty and joy of essential oils is trusting that they work, and that as you're using them, you see profound results. And I love that. I love the fact that even after 10 years of using essential oils, they can still shock me. Like, they can still really like, whoa, I can't believe that happened. And it's because our brains are so ingrained in the fact that we think that things should work a specific way, just like pharmaceuticals or products that we use that claim certain things. Oils just don't work that way. Oils are organic. They do things that work with our body in this kind of like ebb and flow, where, pharmaceuticals don't do that. They're just like dun 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 done. That's why it's so important for you guys to start educating yourself, get in my groups, start researching things, just watch some of the videos like how to organically approach your oil collection. That one's a good place to start. Or terrain mapping and how do you really work with your soil, the stuff that you're made of. Then how do you actually help get that soil back to really good health, right? These are all things that are super important for you guys to learn about. We just kind of touched the tip of the iceberg. I hope you're enjoying today, and I encourage you guys to just get, like I said, get in my groups, get on Amazon. There's tons of books for you guys to grab on there. We have 2 new books out. One is called Essential Oil Make and Takes, and it's a really interesting book for you guys to understand the right way to do a make and take. Another one that just came out is Essentially Driven, which is my business book. So if you're looking at how to really explain to somebody in a very simple way the business side, you guys can get that book. And then of course Essential Oil Truth, which is facts without the hype, everything that you want to give somebody that has no clue about essential oils. And it's not a Young Living sales book. It's literally to help them understand oils and point them back to you. And then also French Aromatherapy. And that one is really good for recipes and usage and how does ingestion work, the consumption of essential oils. And then of course my app, the EO Bar, which is basically it's all stuff in there. And last but not least, 31 Oils is a educational tool resource for you guys. So lots of fun things on there. I love educating, like I said, and it's just super important for me to help as much as I can. So it has been a blessing and honor for me to be here with you guys today. And thank you. Thank you so much. And we will talk soon. Okay, bye guys.